All right. Hello, sustainers. Listen, I'm going to give you guys a heads up so you guys will understand what's going on. Okay. So, I am testing a new streaming service, and you guys know I'm always trying to find better ways to bring you guys amazing content. And that means sometimes I'm partnering or with other people and using other services from just my old standby, just to see if there's something more innovative that can be used to make our experience more enjoyable. And so, um, what I am doing is I have signed up with a different streaming platform. Hold on, I need to adjust my mic. Okay, so I have signed up for a different streaming service, and in doing so, um, there's been some hiccups with the service. I'm not gonna lie, but I've already covered a month's service. But the customer service with this particular vendor is pretty freaking amazing. However, I I have told them in back and forth communications that I can't stream based off on their customer service. I need a platform that's going to help me to put out quality content without any glitches and without any issues. And so I decided to use their platform not for my primary content, but just for like some throwaway content, you guys, to just kind of just test it. Okay. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up if you're noticing any glitches with the sound, if it is not streaming properly. Also, FYI, I am streaming this test content this month on the YouTube page, and you guys will see it after it's been recorded because I'm just not going to throw this stuff out here live and it be janky because this particular vendor's uh, platform has had several glitches in it in my beginning stages of using it. With that being said, I am getting ready to sign um, in the background um, to see if I can monitor here what's going on while I'm doing this. So bear with me. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you guys are having signed into the other YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your new year. I mean, we're already on day 3 of January 2026. And to me, that's just bananas, right? It's just bananas, but it is what it is. Um, Stand by, you guys. I'm still logging in. Oh, okay. I see the short that I just posted over an hour ago is doing really well already. Give me a moment. As like I said, we're going to do content, but at the same time, I'm also testing some stuff. Okay, I finally got into the back end. Wait, hold on. What's it saying? I'm in the wrong area of the page. It should be YouTube content live. Okay, here it is. Unlisted. I just want to go pull it up and see what the heck it is saying or doing and how it's looking, if it's glitching or not. Okay, I am. Okay, visually it looks decent. I'm just going to turn the volume down. So, for these tests, I will be pulling certain topics that I find in the news. This is going to be separate from our members' content, our primary content, but this is just going to be some stuff that'll help us to test this particular streaming software and to um, get some content over on YouTube for our members on YouTube. And I see that the numbers are going up. And so I want to also take a moment to say hello and thank you to all of the new members who have joined within the past week. Um, over on the community channel, I'll post the names of the people who have recently joined and give you guys a shout out as well. In 2026, I am definitely, if you've been following this channel, you should have noticed that I've been putting more content by way of short content, which has been doing extremely well, bringing in new eyes to the channel and new subscribers. And thank you to those of you who are commenting on those shorts and involving yourself in the commentary. I love reading your comments. The more interactive you guys are, that will impel me to be more interactive as well. And as our community gets strong and as our community um, gets even better, we are going to continue to utilize, excuse me, we're going to continue to utilize the platform and build this up in addition to our too hot for youtube.com family. Okay. All right. So with that being said, let me pull up these. Let me check this stream and see how it's doing. Okay. So still hear sound. Um, Let me pull up these articles that I found. And this is under our true crime stuff, you guys. Not going into um any current court trials. I am still I still haven't been able to thrust myself into watching a court trial. Something has shifted in me where after years of watching court trials and then deciding to um take that interest that I have and speak on it by way of doing commentary. It's something about doing that that really drained something in me. It took something out of my desire to really be interested in watching court trials. And I like watching court trials. I've been doing it for double digit years, but once I started doing commentary on them, it felt like I had to watch the trials at a certain speed. I had to stay on track versus just having the leisure of going and watching the trials and really like dissecting the information and watching them from the standpoint of getting education from watching court trials. And it just started to turn into more of from a passion and something I enjoy to like work. And I never want to do something that feels like work because it's never going to be the best that I can put out. I have to love what I'm doing or it just can't happen. So I have not found it within me to jump on a court trial and use that as content or use that as, you know, things for us to share in our community amongst ourselves to kind of bond. So we're going to figure out a different way. I'm not giving up on my true crime love because, again, there's so many teachable moments in all of the true crime stories that I follow. Uh, and I like looking at them from a teachable moment aspect and then sharing that information with others. So in 2026, that is going to be the direction that my sessions will be in. You know, me discussing like, oh, this is a case that I saw, and then coming and telling you guys like, this is the recap of what I got from this trial. That way I can do it on my own time. Also, any true crime stories that come across my way that I'm like, oh my goodness, this could happen to one of the members. This could happen to our family members. Let me share this story and help you guys find a teachable moment in it. I'll be doing things like that. So I'm not abandoning the true crime aspect of this particular channel at all. We're divoting a little bit. We're going to deviate and do a little sidestep and go about it a different way. All right. So with that being said, as I was just going through some things, let me share my screen with you guys. We had that pretty background that you guys saw a moment ago, but let me pull this up. So These I have three articles I want to share with you guys. Some of you might be far more versed in what these, like, especially when it comes to this reality TV story. I assure you right now, many of you are going to be far more versed in what's going on with the situation than I am, but it still falls under true crime, and I wanted to add it to the conversation. So this article was posted 5 days ago, and give me one moment. I want to double check something real quick. Just so you guys will see here, this story really was posted 5 days ago. Because sometimes we'll come across some stuff and it'll be reposted by other people from other outlets, and it'll be like old. And I've had that happen once or twice where I was reading an article and I was like, oh, let's share this with the community. And then I was told, like, girl, that is old. Like, that happened months ago. So now I'm like, let me actually see if this is a real active story. So this one is. So give me one moment. See here. All right. So this says reality TV star arrested in connection with alleged sexual conduct with an animal. So this will be a good time to say disclaimer to anyone who might be sensitive to certain stories, or if you have PTSD towards things that have affected you in your life. Let me get my disclaimer up here on the screen. Give me one moment. All right. And it just says, so you guys will see the disclaimer. Let me get that off. It says, warning. Topics in this video may include content read from court documents or videos that may include murder, sexual assault, and domestic violence. Please watch responsibly. If you are a loved one or in an abusive situation, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That number is 800-799-7233, or the Sexual Assault Hotline at 800-656-4673. Please reach out for help. You matter. Your situation matters. Please call them. They have been around forever, and they have very, very skilled people on the other end of those phone lines that are able to assist you. Okay. So, with that being said, that gives you guys opportunity to back up out of this video and go watch some other content. And now we're going to move forward with the story. So Tony McCollister appeared on Neighbors with Benefits, which aired on A&E in 2015. A cast member of Neighbors with Benefits, a short-lived A&E reality TV show about swinging couples in a suburban community that aired in 2015, has been arrested in connection with two sex crimes. Tony McCollister, 43, was taken into custody on Tuesday, December 23rd, according to records of Ohio Warren County Jail. He's been charged with pandering and obscenity involving a minor and sexual conduct with an animal. NBC's Cincinnati station, WLWT News 5, cited court documents in reporting that authorities are accusing McCollister of uploading child sex abuse imagery to his Google account and engaging in sexual activity with two dogs he owned. His home address was listed as the same one belonging to Erica Grove, a woman who was charged with sexual conduct with an animal at the same date. On the same date, she was not part of the show. The alleged animal crime is a misdemeanor, while the one involving a child is a felony that can result in up to 8 years in prison, along with a fine of $15,000, according to the news outlet. McCollister was arraigned on Monday morning, where he was ordered to have no contact with children or pets. He's currently being held on a $250,000 cash only bond. He is scheduled to return to court on Tuesday, December 30th. Now, here's first of all, this is sickening, utterly sickening. All of it is sickening. Let me go get his picture for you all so you can see his picture. Okay, this is him. This is him. Okay, this is him. If you guys recognize him, let me know in the comments. I am not familiar with that TV show. Never seen it, never even heard of it before. But just the concept of it, with people being swingers and stuff, there's a lot of sexual deviancy already wrapped up in the community of what they were filming about in the first place. So it's sickening that children were involved in this, and animals animals. And I'm going to say this before we move on. As an avid animal lover, I think that it is just heartbreaking that the law does not deem cruelty to animals more seriously. Okay? More seriously. Because the crime against the animal was a misdemeanor, but that's still a living, breathing life, right? It ain't asked to be around these nasty ass people. It didn't ask to be around these sexual deviants at all. And it takes a real fucked up individual. Now this is a part, you guys, where I get real heated, and that's why my banner says that there is mature language on my content, because there are certain topics that just takes me down the rabbit hole and gets me ready to just find people and harm them when they're doing sick shit like this. But karma will handle all of that, and clearly it caught up with him, not soon enough, not quick enough, but eventually it caught up to him, because this is not something he just started doing. This is something I'm quite sure he was very comfortable doing. And big ups to whoever or however it came to light that he was doing this. I tend to think the only reason why he got caught was because of the content he was uploading to Google. And newsflash to you all, if you think that you are doing anything on any of these platforms and in privacy, you are sadly mistaken. Because if you will pay attention, it said that, let me go back. Okay. It says that it was reported and cited by court documents in reporting that authorities are accusing him of uploading child sex abuse imagery to his Google account and engaging in sexual activities with two dogs he owned. This is what got his ass caught. Google realized what he was uploading to his account and reported the authorities. Okay? Good for Google for doing that. Okay? There has to be some checks and balances. Otherwise, we just all just damn to hell. But I wanted to share this story with you guys just to let you know, this happened. This happened on December the 23rd, right as we're approaching the new year 2026. And this sick fuck would have continued doing this until he probably had no breath left in him. And so, thank goodness he wasn't able to roll over into the new year with this sick ass behavior. Okay. So, that was one story that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, this story right here, when I read it, I was like, I guess I have this love hate relationship with the law, because the mere fact that this story can exist, eh, it's it's a problem. It's a problem. Okay, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Hold on, I gotta move something real quick. Behind the scenes. Okay, now again, this is someone who I was not familiar with, but let me Google her so you guys can get an idea of who she is, her images. Again, not familiar with her at all, but this woman is, I'm going to get into who she is, but just so you guys have an idea. Okay? Now, so you can have a visual to this messed up story. So new charges filed against, oh no, that's another story we're going to get into. Poor Russell Brand. Well, I shouldn't say poor Russell Brand. I'll clear that up. So here's the story. Armed intruder countersues, and I'm not sure if her name is Nana or Nana or Nana. So I apologize. I think I'm just going to say Nana for the sake of this conversation. For attempted murder. I'm going to repeat that. Armed intruder countersues Nana for attempted murder. So here's the story. Okay. So Nana, whose real name is Lim Jin-ah, an actor and singer formerly of the group After School, who subdued an armed intruder at her home after a physical struggle, has been countersued by the perpetrator, a man in his 30s identified as A, on charges including attempted murder. A, who was arrested on suspicion of special aggravated robbery resulting in injury, filed a police report against Nana, claiming he sustained injuries while being sustained during the incident. On the 2nd, Nana's agency Sublime stated, while the investigation by authorities has clearly confirmed A's criminal act in the robbery case against Nana, A has filed a separate lawsuit against Nana without showing any signs of remorse. According to Nana's side, A recently filed A, I keep messing it up because they're using his alias as A. A recently filed a complaint with the police accusing her of attempted murder and special injury. Oh my goodness. The agency added, A is causing secondary harm through inhumane acts, exploiting the fact that the victim is a public figure. In particular, during the crime committed by the armed perpetrator, Nana and her family suffered severe physical and mental harm, and the resulting pain continues to this day. It further emphasizes we prioritize protecting the rights of our artists and will take all possible civil and criminal legal actions against the perpetrator. We will continue to respond responsibly to ensure that the artist does not suffer further harm. Earlier on November 15th of last year at around 6 a.m., an intruder armed with a weapon entered Nana's home in wherever she's from. A reportedly A reportedly climbed a prepared ladder to the balcony, entered through an unlocked door, and injured Nana's mother by choking her. Upon hearing her mother's screams, Nana woke up and confronted A. After a physical struggle, the mother and daughter restrained A by holding his arms and called the police. Good for you, girls. Good for you. Nana's mother temporarily lost consciousness due to her injuries but recovered after treatment, while Nana also received medical care for her wounds. It was later revealed that holds a fourth-degree black belt in Taekwondo. Good for you. During the incident, A injured his jaw and was transported to a hospital for treatment. Consequently, the police reviewed whether the case fell under justifiable self defense under Article 21, Paragraph 1 of the Criminal Act, which stipulates that self defense is valid if there are a current unjust infringement and the response has responsible grounds. The police concluded that since there was a real threat to Nana and her mother and no serious injuries was inflicted on A during the defense, it constituted justifiable self defense. A source from now it's A source from the agency stated Nana's mother suffered severe injuries from the attacker's assault, losing consciousness, and Nana also sustained physical injuries while escaping the crisis. During the police investigation, A reportedly stated, I didn't know it was a celebrity's residence and committed the crime due to financial difficulties. The Guru police station, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, referred A for prosecution on November 24th of last year on charges of special aggravated, there we go, robbery resulting in injury. So this is her, right? This is the celebrity in from where they're from. Could you imagine? Hope just hypothetically, um, protecting yourself in your home from a burglar or unwanted individual coming in to steal from you, causing harm to your family member, your mother, choking your mother until she was unconscious, and then have this person, after you attack his ass by all means necessary to protect yourself and your home, then to have this person later sue you because during his unlawful entry into your residence, that you whipped his ass so good and subdued him to where his jaw was broken, and then there's a law that allows him, there's an attorney somewhere in the world that said, yeah, there's a cause for a lawsuit here, and took the lawsuit on to sue these people. Are you kidding me? Like, I just think this is why I say I have a love hate relationship with the law, because clearly anyone can file a lawsuit, right? But at some point, when the paperwork comes across the powers that be that review whether or not it's going to get in front of a judge, or once a judge reviews the case, whether or not this is even something they would even put someone through, that there is where the moral compass comes in. And that there is where, in my opinion, it separates the people in power and judicial positions to utilize a moral compass and entwine it somewhere in the law. Because actually, when it comes to the law, there is no moral compass. Is what you can prove, and it is what is considered letter of the law. And emotions really have nothing to do with the law. But due to certain people who hold power in judicial positions, like judges, they can bend a little bit to use certain case law, use certain loopholes in the law to show a form of compassion or empathy, and moral judgment in certain cases. And I just hope that for this young woman and her entire family, that such a judge exist, so that they do not have to find themselves in a position of having to survive who knows what could have happened. If him choking her mother till she was unconscious, had she not heard her mother screaming, who knows? Who knows what could have happened, right? And it's because of her heroism and her instinct to go in there by all means necessary to protect her house and her family by all means necessary, um is why her and her mom are alive today. And you better best believe that they are still suffering PTSD and forms of trauma from that. You know what I mean? And that's SOB had the audacity to go and sue them. That's some sick shit, right? He needs to get a 5150 evaluation. He ain't working with all cylinders. But he was able to go and find an attorney that would take his case. All right, you guys. So moving on to my last story here. This was posted 14 hours ago, and I had spoke about I touched on it just a little bit when it first broke, that there were sexual assault charges coming out about Russell Brand, and how he was having to go to court across the pond regarding these particular allegations. And so now it is being reported. And let me just show you guys. Um, Not that you guys, well, maybe not everybody. I don't pretend to think everybody knows who somebody is. So let me just show you. This is Russell Brand. Hold on. This is Russell Brand. Okay. And just so you'll see, this is a recent story. Okay. Some people have it posted. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, some people posted this, said it was 11 days ago. A Russell Brand charged with further rape and sexual assault offenses as case expands to 6 women. Okay, I just found this story today. I'm not sure if there was an update. There's some. Okay, so it looks like this originally hit 6 days ago. So based on that, let's find a story that had it in the beginning versus this other story that had put out 14 hours ago. See, that's a real time example right there of what I was saying, how these stories will get reposted by other outlets, and then let me clean it up, and then it'll look like it's, oh, excuse me, sorry. Let's clean this up. Sorry. I keep clicking on the damn advertisement. Hold on, you guys. There we go. Clean it up some. So let's read this story. Okay. It says Russell Brand charged with further rape and sexual assault offenses as case expands to 6 women. Okay. This is was posted on People. Let's try to get to the meat of the story. Well, we'll go back to some bullet points. So it says, need to know. Russell Brand faces 2 new charges, 1 count of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, UK police said on December 23rd. Well, that's not that far back. Okay. So it says the Crown Prosecution Service authorized the additional charges, which relate to 2 further women and bring the total number of complaints to 6. Brand is due in Westminster Magistrates Court on January 20th, 2026, while a trial tied to earlier charges is scheduled to begin June 16, 2026. Russell Brand has been charged with 2 further sex offenses, 1 account of rape and the other count on sexual assault. Expanded. Okay, we already kind of recapped that. In a statement issued on December 23rd, London's Metropolitan Police said the Crown Prosecution Service authorized the additional charges, which relate to 2 further women and are in addition to the 5 charges Brand already faces. Brand, 50, is scheduled to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on January the 20th, 2026, in connection with the new charges, the Met said. Brand has previously pled not guilty to the original 5 charges People previously reported. Those charges, which involve 4 women, include 2 counts of rape, 1 count of indecent assault of 2 counts of sexual assault. A trial tied to those original charges is scheduled to begin June 16th, 2026 in Southwark Crown Court, according to the Metropolitan Police. Detectives began investigating in September of 2023 after allegations emerged following reporting by Chanel 4's Dispatch and the Sunday Times. The original charges stem from alleged incidents dating back more than 2 decades, spanning from 1999 to 2005, and include accusations of rape and sexual assault in the Bournemouth area and London's Westminster area, police said. The new charges bring the total number of complaints to 6. The Metropolitan Police statement did not include further details about the 2 additional charges. Brand has denied the allegations in past public statements. He has said all of his relationships were consensual and has characterized the accusations as a coordinated attack, People previously reported, meaning People magazine. The allegations and crime case have also had professional repercussions. Following the emergence of the accusations in 2023, several of Brand's stand up tour dates were postponed, and multiple organizations and professional partners, including his literary agent and a charity he worked with, parted ways with him, People previously reported. Detective Chief Inspector Tariq Farquhar, who is leading the investigation, said the women who have made reports are continuing to receive special list support. Representatives for Brand did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but in a Wednesday video post on X, Brand cryptically acknowledged he was working to atone for his many transgressions. Quote, I feel so blessed that I have the opportunity to atone for the many things over the years that I have did wrong, and to have the opportunity to ensure that people understand the truth of my situation and scenario, Brand said. He continued to say, I pray that anyone that I have hurt in my years of mindlessness and sin would be healed. I pray for infinite light and wonderful healing for them, and I pray for the absolute truth of who I am to be revealed. That was originally posted on People, and this is just some up close pictures of Brand, who, um, if you know, he is a born again Christian. I forget how long. Well, not I forget. I don't know how long ago, how long he has been in that particular recreation of his cycle of life, but he is a born Christian on his Rumble channel, which is where he does all of his content, and then he shares it also on YouTube. But he is primarily hosting his live streams on Rumble, and has a pretty large following over there. He does constantly, speak about religion. He quotes Bible scripture. He prays, and all of these things. And these were things that he had been doing prior to these accusations coming out. But you guys know me. I'm always gonna play devil's advocate and always try to see two sides to the coin from my perspective. And with that being said, you know, as we follow these cases, we learn that by the time we find out about these stories and these allegations, they've been bubbling in the background for years. They have been victims who have been silenced, victims who feel like they can't come forward and speak on certain things, victims that feel like it's better just to be quiet because of the notoriety and the public admiration or love that the fans have for certain celebrities. And so they lessen themselves and their situations and their traumas in fear of what could happen if they speak out. And so with that being said, you know I say that I don't know when he started his newfound again, born again religion. But what I will say is that in watching a lot of his old stand up, which I did, I used to watch him like because most of you'll know like I like offbeat comedies and accents and things of that nature. I'm the girl that will sit up here and read subtitles for movies and love it. But I've seen several of his stand up comedies back when he was literally doped up. And more importantly, I've shared this story before on my other channel. For those of you who know, I used to work for Sony. I was at Sony around the time when Get 'Em to the Greek was being filmed. And I told this story before, and I'll tell it again on this video. I remember Russell Brand coming to the Sony lot and being so under the influence of something that he couldn't even park his own car. It was really an amazement that he even got to the studio lot. And I remember they were giving him kickback because he was at one of the security gates, and the person who was working the gate had no fucking idea who he was. And we got a call at our office saying that there was someone at the gate who um was trying to get on the set who didn't have a driver's license. And I said, well, what is the person's name? And they said he's saying his name is Russell Brand. And I said, are you shitting me right now? Let him on the lot. And I was like, he has a project on the lot. And they was like, he doesn't seem like he should be driving. He's very he seems out of it. He's slurring, and but he doesn't have a license. And that was one of the requirements. No matter who the fuck you were, you had to have your license to present it to come on the lot. And I remember we had to send someone over there to confirm that it was him, and they had to take his vehicle and park his vehicle on the lot because he was so out of it. So to see him, right, to see him now, it is night and day. It really is. And I do believe that a lot of people can change. I don't think everybody can change, but I believe a lot of people can change. And this is definitely a 180 from that person who showed up to that lot that day. And so, with that being said, it doesn't negate the fact that the allegations against him all transpired during the time where he has even admitted of being so heavily a drug addict and a sex addict that a lot of things that he was doing during that time span, you know, may not have been the best decision, but he says that every sexual encounter that he's had has been consensual. Well, we have to be realistic here. When you are inebriated or whatever the influence of something where you need someone else to drive your vehicle onto a lot, I think it's safe for me to say that There may be times where you might think something is consensual because you are operating from a mindset of being underneath the influence of poison by way of alcohol and drugs and ego. And maybe you thought some of these things were consensual at the time, but from the other person's perspective, maybe it wasn't, is all I'm saying. And so, with that being said, this is an ongoing situation. Read those dates. Those dates are happening this year. So, this is something that is a development story, and we will continue to just kind of put it on the timeline as it continues to unfold. Hopefully for his case, no more women comes forward. Now, and when I say that, I mean if there's other victims, then yes, they should come forward. But I'm also saying, hopefully for his case, for his sake, no other victims come forward. Um, because as you all know, we followed and covered the 77 plus um, civil suits that Diddy had against him, and that dropped from like 200 to 77 that stayed on the record after he after he got convicted. Not after he got convicted, but during the trial. Because once it went to trial, all of those civil cases got put on hold. They were all paused. So out of the 200 and something that were initially all submitted after Cassie won her lawsuit, 77 of them were in stand position but on pause until after his conviction. All right, so those were the stories I wanted to share. Thank you guys for staying on here with me. Are we rewatching this video as we are testing a new platform to see how their service work for our needs to stream and bring you guys quality um, streaming services at a high end and continue to be amazing in 2026. And so we're testing this new company out to see how it goes. So we will be testing them out up until uh, February, the 1st of February. But by the end of January, I will know if this is the service for us. Okay. So, with that being said, thank you to those who were available to help test this. And for those of you who will catch this live stream on the replay, go ahead and join the conversation down below. Sound off. Let us know what you think about these topics. What do you think about what's going on with Russell Brand? What do you think about the poor young lady, the actress, who her perpetrator and attacker had the audacity to sue her for harming him? And then sadly, the the sicko that was, thank goodness, was caught for abusing children and animals. Like, what are your thoughts on that still happening? Um, as early as last month, but also grateful that he was caught. And if you guys know who he was, if you watched his show, let me know what you thought about him if you watched the show. Did you get that vibe from him? Did you get that vibe that he might be into some sick deviant behavior like that? Let me know down in the comments because I never watched the show, never heard of it. But that's all I have to say on these topics. And until next time, you guys, I'm out.